Okay, we're calling this board meeting to order at 1:30 on Halloween here. We're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance. Let's stand up. And, okay, ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Okay, we have, first of all, we have the board minutes from September 26th. We have executive meetings from September 9th and 22nd and 26th. And I hope everybody has got a chance to read those. And we'll entertain motions.
I move that we approve the minutes from September the 26th, September the 9th, September the 22nd, which there were two of them, and September the 26th.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and properly seconded to approve the minutes of September 26th, 9th, 22nd, and the 26th for executive session. Any other comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right, you have passed. You have approved those board minutes. Member comments. I have a couple here. And I will, looks like there's 4 of them. Okay. First of all, we have from Mary Armstrong. We have food and beverage. Meal delivery for the holidays. Due to the pandemic, in an attempt to stay healthy, many of us spending the holidays at home, not going to restaurants, we'd like to request food and beverage have a delivery option for holiday meals, including Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's Eve, Easter, and Mother's Day. We think this would be very beneficial for many members, especially since our food minimum was increased. Second topic for Mary is takeout option for golf events that include food. We like to participate in many of the golfing events at Mission Lakes, but are not willing to be around a lot of people before or after the event, especially when shotgun starts. Therefore, we'd like to request an entry fee for the event, such as an upcoming memorial tournament includes food, that there be a takeout option so that we can take our meals home. Thank you for consideration. Okay. Those are 2 good items. All right. Let's see. Okay. This is from Maurice Lemieux, and he says, Board of Directors, I watched the video of the meeting to discuss the reasons for the increase in the minimum food charge. I agreed with most of the comments regarding food quality and service, and if both have improved, I would not have a problem spending the food allowance. The discussion did not, however, address snowbirds that are only in Mission Lakes Country Club for 4 to 5 months a year. I'm a Canadian, and with COVID, the border is closed for vehicle travel to the U.S. Hopefully this will change. With this in mind, a lot of Canadian and other snowbirds may not have the opportunity to use the dining room this year or next spring. I would ask the board to consider making a permanent change to the expiration date of the food allowance for September 30th to December 31st to coincide with the fiscal year, as you did with the trail fee, allowing snowbirds the opportunity to utilize any unused portion of the food allowance when they return in the fall. Okay. Okay, this is from Martin Klein, and it's a it's a question. The RFCA 2020-41, which don't have in the top of my head.
ADA bathrooms.
Oh, the ADA bathrooms, okay. Was created to close out a state requirement. A timeline has not been published, but I figured should start next month. Why has the proposed construction area not been roped off? Why has new grass been planted and watered daily, only to dig it up in weeks to come? So that is on our agenda, right?
It is.
Well, one of the things is that we're probably not that close, not a month away. Ideally, if everything went perfectly, I don't know. Still talking the spring, I would believe.
Right.
Sometime. So, yeah, You know, I understand what Martin's saying there, but it is, we're just not that close. I wish we were a little closer. Things move a little slow sometimes around Mission Lakes, and but sometimes that's good. Okay, here we go. Carrie Andrews, let's see, put that on the agenda. I can't afford the $480 price hike, $40 more a month. So should I give up groceries? Just order there. Not happy. Okay, that's
It's not a 480 month.
No,
yeah, it's
Should we
half
have
that.
it
It's a
for-
$20 a month price hike.
right.
It is a
It's
$20 a
half
month. However, it's difficult for some of our members, I understand. Okay, those are our member comments, and next up we have our manager's report, and Mr. Brian Wright. What do you
All right,
have?
thank you very much. So September 2020, the finance packet, I have seen a lot of different social media posts concerning the finances of the club. Those are easily accessed through the club website. They are in the membership office as hard copy as well. The club through September 30th is $356,522 better than the budgeted forecast for 2020. Page 7 of the financial report shows the aging accounts. September 2020, the 120-day aging category has been reduced by 7% from last year, the same reporting period. The 7% number equates to about $86,000 reduction for 2020. I want to commend our AR department, our accounting team for staying on that. Page 15, the September financial packet details all operating units and their performance to budget. Page 15 also shows the revenue forecast. We're $225,863 behind the revenue forecast and $582,000 better than the expense forecast. The savings and expense year to date is more significant than the revenue loss, creating a positive result through September. Page 18 of the report also shows food and beverage. The food and beverage department is up 11% over last year's subsidy at the same reporting time. The 11% or 13,000 ties to the increase in vendor pricing in COVID-19. Supply chain disruption in March forced vendors to increase market pricing due to availability issues. Golf shop page 21 still shows a deficit of $45,818, and the variance is derived from outside guest fees for both members and regular public. November, we plan on an aggressive marketing initiative to all communication channels, online booking, and targeted marketing through Facebook to cut this deficit before year end. Outside play will begin at the club on November 9th. GCM page 27, Raphael and team is still doing very well on their payroll savings and related costs to gas and oil and chemicals. The last 3 months of the year are critical, and October is looking favorable for MLCC as well. Raphael's completed the overseas process and is very optimistic about the final product. Opening day for golf is November 7th. As we all know, the County of Riverside is currently in the purple tier. That being said, amenity use has been modified by the guidelines from the county. Hot tubs at the pool complex are still closed. Outdoor dining paired with delivery and takeout will be available. We will continue with Zoom for committee meetings for the month of November, and wearing a mask in the common areas and around and inside the club is mandatory. Tomorrow, 11/1, the Sand Wedge does open, 6:30 to 6 p.m. The season opener is scheduled to be at the pool complex on 11/6. Masks will be mandatory unless seated eating and drinking. The restaurant opens 11/7, takeout and delivery with patio seating. Patio seating is by reservation only from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. It's a limited space with the restrictions we have out there. It looks like we're going to have 26 diners. If you do want to come use the patio, please make a reservation. Golf course beverage cart service starts 11/7. The refreshment cart hours of operation will be from 9 to 3 p.m. Wednesday through Saturday. We will continue to monitor all the county mandates and communicate any changes through the club communication channels. Practice your social distancing, wear your mask, and enjoy the club amenities. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Brian. That takes us down to the committee reports. First up is the Architectural Control Committee, the ACC. Tom, what do you got?
ACC. The committee is still working at getting the community looking better. They will take anybody that wants to help out, fill out an application. Yeah, they're still a little short on people, so they'd appreciate some more help. One thing, Dan Spence has resigned from the committee. Other than that, we have 2 applications to bring before the board. So I'll make a motion to accept the application at 64-629 Brayburn to paint the exterior of the house, same color.
Okay, it's been moved. We have a second?
Second.
Second to okay this application, 64629 Brayburn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Okay, you have approved that.
The second application is 64-754 Pinehurst, and that is to paint the house, put some new windows on, rework the courtyard, and build an exterior wall. So I'll make a motion to confirm that application.
Okay, are we accepting
Need a
this?
second.
We moving and seconding this?
Yeah.
To accept it? Okay, do you have a second? Okay, it's been moved and seconded properly to accept this application, the 64754 Pinehurst. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, nay? Okay, you have approved that application. Anything else?
That's it.
That's it, okay. We have no report from the Condominium Association Finance and Credit Committee, FCC. Mr. Doyle.
Yes, I'd first move that we approve checks over $1,000 from the operations and reserve accounts for September 2020.
I'll second it.
Okay, it's been moved and properly seconded to approve the checks over $1,000 from operation account September 2020. Any other comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Okay, you have approved those checks.
Next, I'd move that we approve the finance and credit reports for September 2020.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and properly seconded to approve the finance and credit reports September 2020. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Okay, you have approved those credit reports.
Okay, next I'd move that we approve RFCA 2020-26 from the golf shop from reserve in the amount of $45,800 to not to exceed on the golf carts that were not sold to Club Card when we purchased our new fleet. The quote we'd had a purchase price from Club Car to buy our used cars, and instead of selling them to them, we sold them to our members and made more money than we would have made from Club Car. And additionally, we did a good service for our members. So this $45,800 is to make up the difference in the purchase price from Club Car. Our income on it was a little over $55,000, so it's a positive for the club in doing that.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded for RFCA 2020-26B, is that right?
Correct.
Got it, okay. And any other discussion on this? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Okay, you have approved that RFCA.
Next, I'd move that we consider RFCA 2020-38 from the golf shop from the reserve in the amount of $18,250 not to exceed for a new beverage cart for the golf course. The vendor is Club Car.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve RFCA 2020-38. Do I see any discussion? Yes, Jim.
Sure. Just a question for Brian. Is this going to be a beverage cart? You indicate there's going to be hours Wednesday through Saturday?
Wednesday through Sunday.
Wednesday through Sunday? First of all, why shouldn't it be starting Tuesday to take into consideration Women's Day?
We're going to start at Wednesday just because we've hired a part-time person and that 30 hours falls in that part-time. If we see there's member demand for Monday and Tuesday, then we're gonna have another staff member jump in for 7-day-a-week service.
Okay, and then this is gonna be ongoing. Last thing I wanna do is approve a purchase of a beverage cart that sits in the garage.
Absolutely not. With the pandemic and COVID-19, the members really appreciated it, and it was a good way to get food and beverage out on the golf course. We had members that were actually buying items that live in the homes, waving the beverage cart over. So
Excellent.
with a working beverage cart, we hope to create member service and make a little bit of money.
Good, thank you.
What happened to the old,
Excuse me?
the one we were using, is it, are we
It's
selling it?
16 years old. It's an aluminum frame, and it's not going to make it.
It's dying.
Yeah.
Is there any trade-in sale?
When the vendor brings the new vehicle, we're gonna see if they'll take a credit, and we might be able to reduce that RFC down a little bit more.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other discussion on this? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Okay, you have approved that RFCA 2020-38.
Okay, next, I'd move that we consider RFCA 2020-39 from clubhouse maintenance from the reserve in an amount not to exceed $10,000 for a clubhouse maintenance utility cart. The vendor is Club Car.
Okay,
Second.
Second, with Trish over here. Okay, it's been moved and properly seconded to approve RFCA 2020-39 for a new maintenance utility cart. Any discussion on this?
Does this take the place of the one that the guy drives around and does the outside of the?
Absolutely not. That's the facility engineer, James, that's his personal cart. It hasn't been replaced in 9 years, it shows in the reserve. We also use it for trash service in the evenings for food and beverage.
Okay.
They're gonna use the old one for
They're
trash.
gonna use the old one for trash now.
Okay, any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Okay, you have approved RFCA 2020-39.
Next, I'd move that we consider RFCA 2020-40 from clubhouse maintenance from the reserve in the amount not to exceed $6,500 for new parking lot solar lights. The vendor is Outdoor Solar Store. This will be in the parking lot to the east of the clubhouse.
Okay,
Second.
second. Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded. Consider RFCA 2020-40. Any discussion? Okay, seeing no discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Okay, you have passed RFCA 2020-40.
Next, I'd move that we consider RFCA 2020-41 from G&A and the Pool and Rec Department from the reserve in the amount not to exceed $443,412 to complete the ADA bathroom project, including landscaping and new parking and sidewalks to the south side of the inn.
Second.
Okay, it's been approved and seconded to approve RFCA 2020-41. Any discussion?
Sure.
Go ahead, Jim. We'll go Jim, Trish, and David.
In the Budget and Finance Committee last Wednesday, we discussed this as part of their request on the reserve account. And I think the motion that came out of that committee meeting was to split this request in half, one half being the ADA bathrooms, a motel room renovation to ADA handicap accessible, and the associated infrastructure. The second half, and that would be number one priority. Second priority would be the landscaping request for the area south of the motel and out further on the property there. So I just wanted, is that the way we brought it out of committee?
Basically, yeah. I think it needs.
I got Trish, and then we'll go David.
Okay, yes, I thought, do we have the reserve package in the budget?
We do. It's on the last page of all the budget documents.
And is that where the, it's divided between, it's not on the 2021 budget anywhere?
It is. If you look at the RFCA, it's broken out. So the RFCA for the pool is broken out line item detail of where the funds are going. and that would be a good place to start. The total building construction has an estimate of $146,000, and then the other line items are the balance with the contingency as well. So RFCA 2020-41. The reserve request is the entire amount of $443.
So, where was this estimate that's attached? Was that the designer's estimate, or?
The estimate below the building is all by HDG Design, the professional company that came in. The number up there for the building construction is through Marshall Swift Beck. So it's not a contractor, it's based on insurance and how much it would cost per square foot. So we are seeing some spiking in small project pricing with the cost of materials, though. That's just an FYI.
David.
Well, I was gonna echo basically what Jim said. I don't see putting out $443,000 whereby we're gonna have no return at all on investment. I understand we have to have 88 bathrooms. I think there are other ways to go about this. Again, as I said once before, I see no reason why we couldn't take one of the hotel rooms and convert it. I understand it could cause some other issues. However, to go out and basically build a Taj Mahal, I'm sorry, I can't agree to that personally.
Anybody else?
Tom?
I know a few years ago, we went through, to touch the motel and add on to that would take an upgrade because a lot of the things in the motel are out of code. So that thought was brought up, I think 2 or 3 years ago to the committee when we first started about making the ADA bathrooms. As far as some of the other things, I know the landscaping, the building out there was, when the guy was here, he said you've got a perfect place for weddings once the trees are gone. And I think that was hopefully the reason why that was put on there. So probably since the pool we have is a pretty 100% good looking project, I'd really hate to see us do just a half deal on the rest of it. If we finish that off, we've got probably one of the best ones in the valley.
Okay, Mike.
Yeah, I would echo with what Tom said. I think that there's been a lot of work over the last couple of years that have gone into designing that pool project, and it's not necessarily a moneymaker where there's no return on investment. It's when you look at the quality of what our swimming pool looks like now and the deck areas and everything that we've done out there, it's beautiful and the members enjoy it. Doing the expansion does two things. That one, meets our code requirements for the ADA bathrooms and showers and stuff, but secondly, it expands that patio area where we've got a formal patio area that allows the members a much larger area to enjoy the pool. I use the pool frequently with my kids and grandkids, and when you come down here, there's no space because it looks so nice now. People use it and we're out of space. I think that expanding it would be a great member amenity improvement. I think that over the years, the club has gotten in trouble more than once trying to do things, well, we'll do half now and we'll do half later. And it drives up the construction costs because you're mobilizing 2 times to do work. It drives up the member inconvenience because we've got construction going on 2 times. And I think that this would be an example of that. I think that if we're going to do the project, we should do it the right way, build bathrooms that meet the state requirements, and finish the project that we've been working on for a couple of years now by the swimming pool, where we expand that paver and the nice area, put new fences and retaining walls in. And I mean, it'd be nice if it was for weddings and stuff, but I think that the other 365 days a year, the members are going to really enjoy it because it'll be a nice expansion of a member amenity. We have the money to do it. We're not strapped for money with the reserves that we have. So that would be my comment.
Okay, Wendy, we haven't heard.
Well, I'm going to side with David on this. For one thing, from the rendering that I saw, they weren't extending the pavers so much that you'd have a good spot for tables. There was quite a bit of grass area, which I like grass as much as the next person. But this project, the first I heard of it a year ago, was $255,000. And it was an ADA bathroom, which turned into 2 ADA bathrooms, 2 showers, because the notion was people were going to come up there and change. I doubt it. And the gazebo's expensive. Let's just leave that. As far as 8 is concerned, using number 8, if we can't touch the inn at all, then how is it we were going to approve $85,000 to put an ADA, I think that was the number, an ADA bathroom in 8 because we have to, because we're out of code. So that's a concern. And then, and finally, nobody, I am so sorry I put this on. It's on. It's on. It's on. Finally, there is a sizable portion of this club that is not in favor of using money from the membership to invest in the club for the purpose of bringing in outside events. People are very emotional about that. So to construct a $40,000 gazebo for the purpose of taking wedding pictures, I think my vote would be no on that. But beside that, I would caution the board toward going that far down that road. And that's it. But as far as the ADA thing on 8, I think we have to do that. So once we touch the inn to do that, do we not have the same problem?
Whatever you're talking about on the end is the first I've heard. I know about 3 years ago, there was the Pool and Rec wanted to take one of the rooms and make it into where you can get massages and that.
Yeah.
And once they found out that anything you touch, just like this building, once we start working on this building, if it's out of code, it's got to be brought up to code.
Right.
And it was going to be so expensive to bring the whole inn up to code. That's why it ended up being not attached to the motel.
Okay.
And the gazebo, the one that you saw the first time, I've got a drawing I can show you it's a 1.5 years old, and it's the exact same thing that they're proposing right now. The only addition is the gazebo.
Yeah,
I've got the drawing now. Anytime you want, I can email it to you.
No, it's just that in terms of the total project, we started out at $250,000, we're almost up to $500,000 and we haven't broken code. And I think this creeping, I don't know, we start out with an ADA bathroom, we end up with 2 holes each and 2 showers. We had fire pits, we lost those, pavement, landscaping, moving the fence, putting a gazebo in, and pretty soon we've spent quite a bit of money. That's
Okay, I'm going to ask a question of Mike, since he's FCC. When we see this $443,000, what is that number? Where does it come from? Why aren't there 3 bids? Can you explain to our members out there?
Yeah, let me get to that sheet. The RFCA, the budget number that was developed is a budget number. We've gotten completed engineering drawings now that are suitable to put out to bid. The thing that's always been an argument here that I think is kind of a moot point sometimes is everybody goes, well, we can't approve this until you put it out to bid, so we have hard numbers. Well, to put it out to bid, you have to spend, $50,000 worth of engineering, get 3 contractors out here to bid it, who typically don't like bidding stuff to HOAs because they never do anything. And you end up with something that takes a long time to get a hard number. The process we've used over the last couple of years is that we've gotten good engineering drawings and working with the people that do this kind of a work and have pretty good budget numbers for developing this kind of a project on a cost per square foot or on a cost per foot for brick walls or retaining walls. And we had the we had a complete design done for the ADA bathroom and landscape improvement project. The last page of the RFCA breaks that down and shows the different construction components. The budget number, that 443, is a not to exceed number, and that once we get to the point that if the board approves moving forward with this project, it does two things. It, one, I think completes something that we need to do, and then secondly, it allows Brian to be in a position to talk with contractors and instead of going, next year we maybe will do something, but it might have a fence, but it might not have a fence, but it may have blue drapes, but we're not sure what's gonna happen out there. Contractors will give you a number that's sky high because they don't wanna deal with that kind of uncertainty. If we put Brian in a position to say, I'm building this project is going into construction in March, I've got approved money for it, I need your best number to build a building. I need your best number to put up a fence and to put in cement blocks and everything. Once we put this project out to bid, I wouldn't be surprised to see the numbers come down a little bit. But right now, we don't have 3 bids because the project isn't approved. Until projects are approved, we're not dragging contractors through the ringer, have them waste their time and energy and get angry at Mission Lakes coming out of bid work that never gets done. Does that answer that?
Yeah, that answers that. What else do we have? Any other? Who? Okay, Trish, and then Jim.
I would really be more, probably would approve this if it was an ADA bathroom. I think due to COVID-19, we do not know if we're going to even be open. And to have an open area out there where you can't have any more than maybe 25 people, I don't know what the rule is, but I would personally like to see this divided in half and have the board vote on what part of this we would like. It really disturbs me that the building itself is $150,000 and then with the landscaping of whatever that is, it just really, I'm concerned about spending all that money right now.
Okay, if I look at this really quickly, Ray.
Yeah, go ahead.
If we split it and say, okay, we're not gonna do the landscaping. The building construction, if you look at the last sheet, that's the budget estimates, is $146,000. So that's what we would approve if we're gonna split it up. The site preparation, right below that, is $26,000 to make the math numbers round. The third item down, landscape planting, we would skip. Irrigation, we would skip. The fourth item down is the ADA park, or the handicap parking, the new driveways and everything to get up to the handicap parking, moving that fence to get around the new bathrooms that we put in, putting in the sidewalks and everything. This includes some stuff with the fire table and everything. It's $172,000. If you take out the fire table, is $5,000. A gazebo's $40,000. So say you take $50,000 out of that is $122,000. So if we split it, it's $146,000, $172,000, $272,000, $82,000. It's $284,000. If I did my math in my head real quick, right? No, that's not right. 140, 160, 260. Yeah, 300. 140.
While you're doing that, the other thing is I think if we approve the ADA bathroom, it can come back to the board in January or February when we know what the horizon is for COVID-19 can be done. That, to me, the landscaping, yes, it takes time, but it doesn't take as much time to build a structure. And personally, I think that outdoor area, especially with a fire pit and a gazebo, will be used by a lot of people from the motel rather than our members. That's my opinion.
And they're unruly.
Well, our members are unruly down there too. I would suggest that we approve 250,000 as a starting point.
Right now, we have a motion for the whole thing. If you want to amend it, that's fine. If you want to vote on this and turn it down and come back with another amendment, that's another way of going about it, but
Can I do that, or does he have to do it?
you can amend your motion.
So,
As
by
long
doing
as your
this, I
second
said
agrees.
275.
Okay.
So what I'd like to do is amend the motion I made on approving for 2020-41. I'd amend the motion that we made to have the board approve $275,000 to construct the ADA bathrooms and the supporting infrastructure for that with handicap parking, sidewalks, and access for those bathrooms. And then the second, so that would be the first motion, would be to approve $275,000 to start the ADA project.
I need a second, David.
I'll second.
Well, that was an amendment to your motion. You were the second, and if you are okay with that, then that
Okay.
is the new motion going forward.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, now, I'll take discussion on that. The new motion, I'll start with the maker, Mike.
I think that David's proposal makes sense.
Okay, anything else, Wendy? Go ahead.
Does
Wendy,
that
Jim?
limit us to, what is legally required, plus perhaps matching the paving? Because I'm not for ugly stuff either, matching the paving.
Everything that would be done will be done consistent with the long-term plans of the club and the long-term look of the club.
Yeah, I mean, I would, I think we should limit ourselves to what's legally required, plus, yes, making it look the way the club looks. Whatever pavers need to match the pool area, et cetera.
Well, it's the parking area and infrastructure to have handicap parking addition. We've got to change the driveway flow pattern and then have sidewalks and everything that are handicap width and all that stuff to get up to the pool area.
Well, let me be specific. Do we need to remove tree? I hate to remove a tree. I hate to kill anything living.
We just lost half of one of those trees.
Do we have to, well, oh, I bet. That was awful. Do we have to remove the trees and the shrubs then?
If it, fringes, not
Yes,
where
the,
they're.
Yes.
the
Some of
two
them have to be
trees,
removed.
the two trees
The
I was
trees
out
would
there
go.
with the guy, yes, they had to come
They
out.
have to come out.
Plus, it was noted that the view from the clubhouse is gonna be a lot better without those trees there. When you sit up in the clubhouse, you'll see the mountains.
Better, yeah, okay. Well,
Okay, Jim.
Sorry, go ahead.
Jim, then David.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, at one time, there was discussion about making one of the motel units ADA accessible. Is that still in the cards, or is that because of what Tom indicated?
Yeah.
If you do that, then you're on the hook for upgrading?
And that's an independent project from this.
Yes.
Okay.
That was my understanding. If we do any major thing to the rooms over there, every room has to be brought up to code. And I think, didn't you just say something about every room is out of code over there?
I think I don't think there's one of them. I don't think there's one room you can get a wheelchair to the bathroom.
Yeah, but I thought if we touch one room there, it's all attached, you'd have to make every room up to code.
I believe so. I believe so.
So are we in a catch-22
Which means the
situation?
bathrooms in each room are out of code.
Correct.
Okay, and is that it?
I guess.
Okay, David.
I would suggest that we say not to exceed 275 at this time. If it gets to a point down the road that we find that that is not enough, that Brian could come back and say, and request further funds for this.
Okay, looking, seeing anybody else? Okay, I'm gonna ask that we read the motion clear here one time. Go ahead.
So I guess we'll call it 2020-41A will be the part we're gonna look at today, and then B will be the future. So I'd move that we approve RFCA 2020-41 in an amount not to exceed $275,000 to approve construction of the ADA bathroom and a portion of the landscape construction to include the new handicap parking, driveway modifications, and handicap access sidewalks and infrastructure to support the ADA bathrooms. So that would be phase A of the project.
Okay. That is the motion. It's been moved and seconded. We've had our discussion, so I'm gonna call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. You have approved this motion.
And then I don't know if we need to do something about the second one, we're tabling it, or is
I
that?
think we should just table
Well-
it and.
So the balance of it will, so the balance of the RSA will be tabled until
Right now, it's
future,
it's
for future
tabled.
consideration.
Yeah,
If that's something
Okay.
we feel we can do later, then it'll come back.
Okay,
Come
that
back
makes
anytime.
sense.
thank you.
Okay, so we've got that done. Next, to go to the operating reserve budgets for 2021. The Finance Committee over the last several months has had a number of meetings and revisions and reviews of our operating budget for 2021, going over all of the information that Brian and his staff submitted for the needs for the club to operate in 2021. The net result of all of that is that we can do everything to keep the club a beautiful place to live with an $11 dues increase, which is, I think, very reasonable when you consider the impacts we've had with minimum wage increases, with insurance increases. All of our costs have gone up dramatically. I think that Brian and his team are to be complimented for doing a wonderful job of controlling our costs and keeping our dues increase to such a small number. So I'd move that everybody's, I think, has had a copy of the budget, and I know that the board, we've discussed it a couple of times. So I would move that we approve the FY21 operating budget that was recommended by the Finance and Credit Committee for 2021. It includes an $11 dues increase.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to accept the operating budget by the FCC for 2021. That does include an $11 dues increase. I don't know what percentage that is, but somewhere around a 3 or a little less, I guess.
Not much.
So, any discussion?
Somebody second it?
Yeah, David seconded.
David did.
Okay, I see no discussion. We'll call for the question. All those in favor of the operating budget for 2021, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. You've approved the operating budget.
Okay, next item to discuss is the reserve budget request submitted by the committees in the club for reserve spending for, where did they go? Let me find my package of paper on
I
that.
don't have any.
To the back of the
It's at the back of the-
budget. To the back of
Back
the
of the
budget.
budget.
It's in the very
The last
back.
page
I
of
have
the
that.
budget.
Okay, I have it.
Oh, there it is. Okay. So again, with the reserve budget procedure each year, two processes. One, Brian goes through the Hughes Reserve Study Report that we have that encapsulates all of the equipment and facilities that we have and itemizes what may or may not be requiring replacement in any given year. And then secondly, we have requests from the various committees that is requesting for funds that they may want to accomplish projects that have been through the committee process. So if you look at the package that each of us has here, the reserve component package, $680,915 is the expected spending from the Hughes Reserve that's in the operating categories of the club for air conditioning and tractors and different things for the club. Was $680,000. There's a line-by-line detail that was completed by that and reviewed by everybody, and it was approved with after the review by Brian and his team with what was going on with it. The Green Committee has requested $530,500 for FY21, and there's about a 25-page detail on what the Green Committee wanted to accomplish next year. The biggest chunk of that money would be for front nine to level all of the tee boxes, which have gotten kind of crooked over the years with all the sand and everything. And then redoing the greens, the surround, and for weed control, and then, you know, reshaping some of the greens. And then there's about $100,000 in there for cart path replacement. The next one, the pool and rec request, we just addressed, so that, you know, doesn't need any further discussion. The last one, or the next one, is the maintenance yard project that we have ongoing. There's about, if you look at the $680,000 that Brian has in his reserve component, there was about $90,000 in there for maintenance yard upgrades. This additional $369,794 is the additional money needed to pave the yard, add a new maintenance building, add offices and restrooms and storage areas that allow us to operate a lot more efficiently down there and provide a work environment that's a lot safer for our employees. So that's an additional amount of money to what's already in the reserve request. And then the last one is the warm-up cage out here on the north side of the parking lot. When that was originally installed, it wasn't leveled properly. And the Greens Committee and Brian and Raphael have been down there, spent a lot of time looking at it, and have come up with a way where if we reorient the hitting direction on it, we'll be able to have a level teeing area that will allow for, you know, quick warm-up by our members or for outside play, and get away from the severe slope that exists now. That project basically included new nets and new guide wires, I guess is what you would call it, to make that a level hitting area that would meet the needs of our members. So sum total of all that is that there's about a little over $2 million in reserve spending requested for FY21. At the end of FY20, we're going to have approximately $2.8 million in the reserve. Next year, we're going to have about $1.1 million come in, so we'll be at, you know, 3.2 give or take. If we spent the $2 million, we'll be at you know, million and change, $1.3 million, $1.4 million, depending on what the actual final cost ended up being. So with that, I don't know the correct way to do it. You want to do them one by one?
Well, yeah, the one question I had, the total will be different because we just approved to spend part for the bathroom, which is
And that's
200 and something.
Yeah, so we'll be
will come
1.875.
What is it?
1.875.
114 will be the new reserve.
So $1.8 million. We're going to have 3.8. So that'll leave us, you know, give or take $2 million in the reserve at the end of FY21, which is a substantial number in our reserve. We've had a Buddy Hughes review of the reserve expenditures, and he was comfortable with the levels we're at and the amount of major projects we've been getting completed while still maintaining our reserves and not depleting them to a dangerous level.
okay. Tom, want to jump?
Hey, Mike, straighten me out. This total in each one of these is kind of in theory. Each of these projects has to come back to the board to get okay,
Yeah.
piece by piece.
Yeah.
Yes, what this is a spending request that will allow them to go forward and do further planning on it. So if the Green Committee wanted to start a project to do the T leveling and the green improvements, they would come back and say, hey, we need to get 25 grand for engineering to move forward with this project. So there's no spending approved in this. It's a conceptual bid that says we have the money to do this, and if the committee brings it back to the board and says we want to spend this money, the board said yes, we have the money, and then any project before any money is spent, it comes back to the board for approval prior to spending on cost, design, concept, all those things. So the board retains all of that control.
Okay.
Okay, and you know, just so, because we are on Facebook out there and our members are watching, The Hughes Reserve component is a name given to what you probably are going to be replacing in that year. Every piece of equipment we own, everything we own has a life to it. It's all on a calendar, and it's all set to be replaced at some year. So for this particular year, the things that we could easily expect to replace in that is about $680,000 where that comes from. The others are requests from committees to do certain things. And no, it's not an okay. We're not okaying this money right now, but we are telling the committees that, yeah, we're interested in this, and yeah, let's keep going. And so if there's something in there that you want to, that as a group that you don't think you're going to ever be interested in, better to tell the committees now before they get 6 more months down the road and think that they actually had a chance to do something, and then they did, because all along we were not going to okay that. But if there are things that you seriously want to keep on there and take a look at and do, but yeah, we're not committed to any of these things at this particular moment, except for possibly the 680, because that's what you're legally in that reserve you have to do, replace that stuff. So, other questions on this? And yes.
Yeah, I had a question on the maintenance yard. That initially started out that we were going to do a building for the equipment, but as I did a walkthrough with you, there are other areas that need to be done. Is this a hard figure, or is that just an estimate? Estimate. Okay, thank you.
I have a question about that too.
Yes,
We voted to approve $85,000 going forward for the drawings and all the things that need to be done, the engineering study for that.
Yes.
Now, is that part of the $90,000 that's there, or is that above and beyond the 369, or is it part of the 369, or is it anywhere, or did we already spend it?
We've already spent that, so it's out of that number.
So it's out of those numbers.
And to your question, Trish, when we get the architectural drawings back, and like I know right now, Brian's got some stuff for ready to look at, we've got to do all the underground utility locating and everything. When we get the architectural drawings back that would include the underground definition, that's the point that we would have a hard set of drawings. Brian and Brian's group would come forward to the board that says, okay, we've got hard drawings now, we're going to go out to bid to get to actual hard construction costs to do the maintenance yard upgrade. And at that point, we would know that it's coming in at $250,000 or $500,000 or whatever it is, once we get the hard drawings and the construction costs. And again, that would come back to the board for approval.
Okay, we still don't have a motion on this though, right?
I would I'd move that we approve the reserve spending identification request in an amount of approximately $1.875 million for FY21.
I second.
Okay, it's been approved, or been motioned and seconded that we approve this at what is it, 1.875?
1.875. 114.
The pool and rec request on there is
Duplicate.
yeah. All right, so any other discussion on this?
Not for me.
Okay, seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Okay, you have passed those spending reserve requests.
Yeah, the operating budget. So
Okay, good.
So that is the end of the financial committee actions.
Thank you, Mike, for all your hard work.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Mike. I know
You're gonna
maybe
miss
packing
us.
your bags, but
It's an easy task because Brian has the stuff so well organized that, you know, it makes it a lot easier for the committee to really go in and review stuff rather than trying to do it. And we've made great strides over the past years with getting a much better management team in here. And the budget process this year, I've been involved in it for 5 years. This was far and away the easiest process because of the success Brian's had building his team. We've got the information base easily accessible now through the Jonas system that we've had. And it makes it an easy process to get us accurate numbers on running the club. So thank you, Brian.
Welcome.
Okay, that takes us to the golf committee. Mr. Stocker.
Okay, Shelley Daly did give me a piece here to read to make sure the members and the board knows all about it. So I will read it, pretty much what she wrote me, because she was concerned that I'd read it exactly. There's a meeting of the golf committee at noon on Tuesday to do the overview of the tournaments for the upcoming season. She wants to remind everybody that there will be shotguns for Tuesdays and Wednesdays in tournaments. And be sure to mention the upcoming Memorial Tournament on Saturday, November 14th, with a shotgun at 7:30. Sign up on Chelsea. Also sign up for the Membership Drive Tournament on Wednesday, November 18th, which is a shotgun at 7:30. New members on that tournament will be paired with current women's and men's club members, and the players for the Membership Drive Tournament. This will be a scramble. Boxed lunches will be delivered on the course around 11 a.m. for both of these tournaments. And they're still finalizing the entry fee that buys you into both tournaments plus lunch.
Okay, thank you, Tom. We'll go to the Greens Committee. Mike?
Green Committee, I think that, in talking about the reserve budget, we covered everything that they have going on. And I'd just like to say thanks to Andy Carney and to Bill Aldridge, because they've spent a tremendous amount of time over the last 6 or 8, 10 months looking at improvements needed for the golf course and collecting data on the cart path projects that we have to get started on. So thanks to those guys for helping get the club in a safe position. That's it.
Okay, House Committee, Wendy.
Okay, Phil Anderson, the chairman of the House Committee, has been successful in getting Chris Harvey to agree to be the secretary, and so in an effort to have the voting members and alternate members straightened out, we are considering making Amelia Grimsky a voting member and Chris Harvey a voting member, and moving Ms. Carla Long and Mr. Paul Vigiano to alternate members.
Okay, that's a motion to
That's a motion.
do those, and you have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to consider Carla Long, Paul Vigiano as members, and Amelia Grimsky and Chris Harvey as voting members. And Chris will take over as secretary work, which is always a job nobody wants on the committee. So we're pretty happy about that. So all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Okay, you have approved those changes. Anything else, House Committee? For now? No? Okay. All right, member communications, Trish.
We will begin to have the e-news published every 2 weeks. Teresa Murphy is in charge of that. If you want to send her an email or have anything to put into it. We just had our MLCC newsletter sent out last week, or this week, and that'll probably be quarterly. And we are meeting at 1:30 on Monday, if you want to zoom in.
Okay, and while we're on that, you guys and your committee chairs out there, if you could talk to them. The e-news, I can understand maybe they don't turn something in every 2 weeks for that, but we have quarterly newsletter, and so encourage your chairs to put something in there if they could. And if they don't, I know not everybody is comfortable writing things, and they don't, I mean, it's been a long time since you've been in school probably, so I get it. So, but don't be worried about that. If you need some help with that, Communications Committee will be happy to go through and proofread it. I know my wife will be happy to go through and proofread all that stuff if you want someone to help you write. I know it's
grade circled at the time.
I get it. It's intimidating sometimes, and but the truth is most of you do okay. It's just that when it comes to commas and capital letters and things like that, you probably are using a little too little or a little too much. But anyway, don't be afraid of that. And when you read through these things, realize that you're reading stuff from people that are volunteering. They're doing their best. They're just trying to get some information out to you. They're not out to win a Pulitzer Prize in journalism or anything, okay? They're just trying to do one of the jobs around here and get some information out to you. So anyway, Neighborhood Watch, Wendy.
Again, welcome back snowbirds, because it seems that the snowbirds more than anybody else are interested in putting Neighborhood Watch together, and cops. We've continued to have cops roaming the neighborhood, which is wonderful. So I'm sure they're glad to have people come back. So the plan is to get something on the books for November, an emergency preparedness session or something. Get some folks in, get some volunteers, and get Neighborhood Watch rocking and rolling again, because currently it's a committee of one: president, secretary, treasurer.
Yeah, it would be nice to get that going a little bit, but I'm sure we will. Maybe we can send a bus up to the border and load it up with our members and bring them back or something. Sneak them across. We're gonna miss them if they don't get back here soon. So anyway, so that's Neighborhood Watch. Pool and Rec, maybe Jim.
Yeah, there is no report from the Pool and Rec Committee. They were going to kind of wait and see what the outcome of the vote on their project was. So I'm sure they'll have a report for next month.
Okay. All right, Jim. There's no old business. New business. We have board meetings in November and December are always a little bit off. They're not the last Saturday because of the holidays and that sort of thing. Everybody's traveling or doing things. I don't know. We don't. But I hear people do. Anyway, the meetings for those are November 21st and December 19th. So they're slightly different than what they are the rest of the year. There are no lien delinquent lists for us to approve, and anything else for the good of the order while we're here? And nothing, seeing nothing, then we'll adjourn. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.